Sadashiva-samarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om. Dear friends, we come to the climax of Tattvabodha today, which is the climax of the Bhagavad Gita, the climax of all the Upanishads, and all Prakarana Granthas. In fact, Tattvabodha is also a Prakarana Grantha. The topic today is Jivathma, Paramatma, Aikyam. Absolutely unbelievable, which means I am already that which I can possibly be. That means my true nature is that of the divine. The invocation for Tattvabodha as follows. Vasudevendra yogendram natva jnanam pradam gurum mumukshu nam hitarthaya tattvabodho vidiyate. What is this inquiry into the truth? What have we been doing through Tattvabodha all along? It says Tattva Viveka Kaha. What is the essence or what is the truth of my nature? Extremely difficult to believe, but this is what it says. Atma sathyam tad anyat sarvam mithyeti. That means I am the only reality. Other than me, everything else is unreal. Now let us try to understand what it means by I am the only reality. Everything else is unreal. By I means the Atma or the real self. And this has to be attained through a process of negation. By negation, we have that very famous Nidityasanam shloka. To attain to the real I, the real truth is Mano Buddhi Hankara Chittani Naha. That means we have to be very familiar with the process to say, what I am not. Begins with the first step in Vedanta is the firm and convinced belief that I am someone other than the body. Normally, I am convinced that I am a body, I am a man, I am of a particular age, I am located here, this is my profession. About this, I am absolutely convinced. And because of this conviction, I have a certain identity and I have a certain role in this world. Now, this fundamental truth of my understanding is taken away from me when now I firmly believe I am someone other than my body. In Tattvabodha, I have studied I'm not just this gross body, I'm the subtle body, which is my mind, I'm the causal body, which is the seed of the gross in the subtle body. I am none of these panchakosha. Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, anandamaya kosha. None of this. I'm not the waker, the dreamer, or the deep sleeper. Then if I am not none of all these, then what am I? Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoha. I am of the nature of Shivaha. I am indeed auspicious. How do I arrive at this? And this, the whole process is called Atma, Anatma, Viveka, also called Drik Drishya Viveka, Kshetra Kshetrajna Viveka, Purusha Prakriti Viveka. And this goes through this process of, in the Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, Kshetram Kshetrajna Bhaga Viveka. That means whatever I see and experience, I am not that. So this is the fundamental law of Vedanta brought to us by Swamiji early in our understanding. Whatever I see and experience, I can experience my body, I am not my body. I can experience my mind, I'm trying to explain some of the fundamentals of Vedanta, I am not my body. Now this is the first step. If this fundamental is ingrained and it is part of my DNA, then Vedanta becomes possible for me. Second, and this is the climax. So you have the alpha and the omega. In this fundamental, you have the beginning and the end. If the beginning and the end of the Vedanta is there with me, I have everything. In this one slide, I have all that I need to know about Vedanta. The first alpha is I am not this body. That means all the three bodies. I'm not the body, I'm not my mind. Because I experience my body, I experience my mind. The second is all attributes belong to the object of experience. I, the subject as Atma, I am nirguna. Swamiji calls this mind-boggling. Mind-boggling means immediately I realize I'm not ordinary. I think or have been conditioned to believe I'm ordinary. I have no birth, I have no death. I'm there from the very beginning because there is no time. I will be there till the very end if there is end. That means I am beyond time. I am nityaha, shuddhaha, buddhaha, muktaha. I have no gunas. All the gunas belong to my body. I have none of the three gunas. My body has a location. I have no location. Why? I am all pervading. I am infinite. I am not bound by time. I am not bound by space. I am eternal, infinite. And that is what we call Shivoham, Shivoham, Shiva Swarupa. For the time being, I have to understand I am a mixture. I am a mixture of the body and mind. The body-mind is a changing and a finite principle. As Atma, I am consciousness, I am infinite. It does not undergo any change whatsoever. One exercise I need to do all the time is to look into myself. What is in me that is always changing? What in me is that which never changes? I always give this exercise of looking at your own photograph when you're a little boy or a little girl. And if you look at your body, you will see your body has changed, your minds have changed, your thoughts have changed. But there is something which you will say, it is me, which has never changed. That which is not me, anatma, is constantly undergoing change. The real me has experienced or has gone or interacted through or used so many bodies in this life itself. Bodies come and go, but the indweller, the embodied, is always there. Why is this knowledge important? Because only for one reason. All our suffering is based on ignorance of this fact. As long as I do not know I am Atma, Brahma, I have suffering. This comes in the Bhagavad Gita. Ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. Shri Krishna, the Bhagavad Gita clearly says there is only one reason why we go through all suffering. We do not know our true nature. Our true nature is not this body-mind. As long as I identify with my body-mind, there is no permanent solution to any of my problems. The moment I realize I am Atma Brahma, and the more I am established in the truth, suffering can disappear at once. So all our exercise is Kshetra, Kshetrajna, Vibhaga, Viveka. That means I need to be able to say this body mind is only an instrument of transaction. It is there for the time being. It is there during my waking and the dream state. And as body mind, let us remember always there is no permanent solution to any problem. I solve one problem today, I have another problem and another problem. But as Atma, I have no problem. All I need to do is constantly remember my true nature and play my limited role as if it is a drama day in and day out. There is this Viveka. Now, if you understand this, we will realize that we are, from the time of birth, we are already 66% enlightened. See, whenever you say, I am, we all know I am. I means consciousness, am means existence. About that, we have no doubt. To know anything else, we need to look around, see, and realize. But to say, I am, we have no problem. So whenever you say am, that means you say I am existent. That means you are 33% realized. When you say am, that means you are conscious. So to say I am which we all know, we have 66% pass as far as enlightenment is concerned. But what we do not know is I am Ananta or Atma. Through Guru and Shastra, we understand I am Ananta. I am Sat Chit. Sat and Chit we all know. But I do not know I am Sat Chit Ananta or Sat Chit Ananda. Tattvabodha, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads are for this last part to help us to discover I am Atma Brahma. So, what is this chapter of Tattvabodha telling us? Jivathma, or the essence of mind, and paramatma are one and the same. The truth of myself is divine or Atma. The truth of God is also Atma. Just like the essence of the wave is water, the essence of the ocean is also water. And this is the essence of all the scriptures of Vedanta, whether it is the Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, or any of the Prakarana Granthas. The Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads say, this is the highest human accomplishment. Swamiji repeats this again and again. True greatness is one who knows and who lives the Mahavakyams and not any worldly accomplishment. According to Vedanta, a person can be called wise or a jnani when he knows that jivathma and paramatma are essentially one and the same. Our nature is Atma. I am Atma, Brahma, and to be able to claim I am Atma, Brahma. But this doubt always comes. How can you say that my true nature is that of God? The reasoning is we come to what is called Vachyartha and Lakshyartha, what is called the conventional meaning and for the implied meaning. The Atma experiencing through these three bodies, that is called the Jivatma. The same Atma through the whole or the total or the prapanja thrayam is called paramatma. Anatma is body-mind complex, which is of a lower order of reality and which has a dependent reality, and that is why it is called mithya. All the scriptural statements can be divided into two. They are called Mahavakyas or Avantara Vakya. Any statement which brings about this essential oneness of Jivatma and Paramatma is called the Mahavakya. So all our scriptural statements can be classified as Mahavakyas. All the other statements that lead up to them or help us to understand these Mahavakyas are, everything else are called the Avantara Vakya. Now, there are few Mahavakyas like Prajnana Brahmam, Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, I am Atma Brahma. But it looks like there are four Mahavakyas. These are the four sample Mahavakyas from the four Vedas. But then, there are hundreds and thousands of Mahavakyas. And whenever in the Bhagavad Gita or the Upanishads we come across, our teachers highlight and help each of them to use these Mahavakyas for meditation to be able to tell us repeatedly, I am that. So what are the sadhanas that we need to go through? The sadhanas that we need to go through is through Shraddha, to believe this unbelievable statement that what my Guru is saying, what my Shastra is saying is true, that I am Brahman in essence. Doubts will come. How is it possible? Through repeated Shravanam, or through interaction with my colleagues, or through questioning the Acharya, my doubts have to be clarified. Only when the doubts are able to be clarified, there comes a point when we are certain that I am Brahman. However, our past experiences of a limited Jivatma are so powerful that when it comes to transactions, we forget our true nature and we go back. And that is why we constantly need to be in satsangatve nisangatvam. The more we are in this teaching, Nisangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischala tattvam, nischala tattve Jivan Mukthi. The more we are in satsang, the more we are in touch with people who are convinced that this is not just a fad, a statement, but it is my real truth, then it becomes possible that this statement, this is the essence of all Vedanta, this is the essence of Tattvabodha, the essence of the Gita is Brahma Satyam or Aham Satyam. Whatever I experience in, including the body and mind, is mithya, and my real nature and the real nature of paramatma are one and the same. I have got this message. What I need to do is spend the rest of my life in being absolutely convinced that I am Atma, Brahma. This Mahavakya has to be internalized. So, after being in touch with the Guru for a certain period of time, this teaching now has become aparoksha jnana. It is not paroksha jnanam to say there is Brahma asti. It has become aparoksha. It has become Brahma asmi. But through nidityasanam, through satsanga, I need to be able to be constant about this factor that even in the most difficult moments of my life, when I am insulted, when I am hurt, when my body is not well, my mind is going through all these disturbances, I should not forget the truth. I am Atma Brahma. Then what happens? I experience a state of what is called a Jivan Mukta. I am tethered to this body, and this body has got a lot of physical limitations. I'm tethered to this mind, and this mind is going through various ups and downs. I go through various family situations, very financial situations, but I know that my status is independent of whatever happens to my family, to my money status, or my professional status. I'm independent of whatever happens. There is a certain purnatvam. Atman evatmana tushtaha. I know that nobody or no situation can make me more richer than what I am. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata. Because Atman evatmana tushtaha. Finally, equanimity. That the greatest tragedy that happens around me cannot affect me. I develop such an amount of mental toughness because now I am convinced that I am not the body, I am not the mind. Whatever happens to the body and mind happens to the body and mind. It cannot affect me. This is called Jivan Mukthi while we are living. Remember, this is purely mental. Just because it is mental and it is not physical does not mean it is not real. My body requires food, my body requires shelter, my body requires clothing. Do whatever it required. We cannot get physical independence. But Jivan Mukti means all those emotional ramifications that happen whenever I go through difficulty and all those unhealthy mental responses, I do not entertain because I am not that. Even though my mind is going through various ups and downs, these three things, that sense of independence of my bodily limitations or my mental limitations. Why? Because I am Purnaha. I am Atman Evatmana Tushtaha, and I cannot be affected by any form of adversities. Now, this is as far as the Jivan Mukti. Now, is there something really physical? The physical part comes when this body drops. When this body drops, when the Jivan Mukta leaves the body, the person has no more karma left. And when there is no more karma left, there is no sanchita karma, there is no agami karma, and prarabdha is exhausted. There is no chance of rebirth. Remember these few things. As body mind, there is no complete solution to any problem. As Atma, there is no problem whatsoever. Now, how do I reconcile this? Now, I am a mixture of both body, mind, and Atma. Now, remember, and Swamiji makes this great statement, there is no corridor that connects the finite to the infinite. The mortal body and the mortal mind can never become immortal. Whatever sadhana that I do, whatever blessings that I may get, the blessings are to my body and mind. I am already that as Atma. It is only a mental disidentification from the body mind to I am Atma Brahman. We have studied Tattvabodha. And then Tattvabodha is all about one statement. Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayam asmiti purusha kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anuswam jwaret. Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayam asmiti purusha. What does it mean? I am of the nature of eternal and all-pervading consciousness. This should enter into the DNA of every cell of my being. I am of the nature of Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivaswarupa. What does it mean? I am the only source of permanent peace, security, and happiness. Everything else is temporary. But when I want real, permanent peace, security, and happiness, it comes only in me. And the next big jump in this understanding is, because of me, this body is alive, this body is able to function. And because of me, this whole world has come into being. Have no hesitation in being able to declare, my eva sakalam jatam. When you are awake, this world is born. When you are asleep, the world has resolved into you. The world comes into being because of you as consciousness, and the world resolves when you are not there. When you are not there means when the body-mind is not operating. When the body-mind operates, the world comes into being. When the body-mind is not operational, the world ceases to being. The world is of a lower order of reality. Let this be a nishta. This is all what Vedanta says. Why is Jagan Mithya so important? Brahma Satyam alone is enough. Why? There are so many adverse things that are happening around us. All of us are going through various turmoil. Remember this all the time. Anything that happens in the material world or in the physical body cannot really affect me because of I am of a higher order of reality. Just like the dream events cannot really affect me. Whatever sufferings that you go through the dream cannot really affect me as long as you always realize I'm not this limited dream body, which is my own creation. If I forget this, then I land into samsara. The moment I forget it, I land into samsara. The moment I remember this, then life becomes a blessing. Finally, remember a few verses. I'm not going into those details. This is proof of Jiva Mukthi, and that is Atma Pammena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati Yorjuna. Your ability to see yourself in everybody. There is nobody who is superior to me, nobody is inferior to me. Nobody is my friend, nobody is my enemy, because everybody is not other than me. Atma Pammena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati. To be able to see everyone as just as yourself. Buddhi Yukto Jahatiha. When I have this knowledge, I no longer work for punya or papa. Remember, my eva sakalam jatam. Because of me, this whole world has come into being. Yat gatva na nivartante taddama paramamama. Once you have understood this, there is no falling back into this relative world. What have you understood? My sarvam idam protam. Sutre, I am immanent and transcendental. Why? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogata atman evatmana tushtaha. Let this be our understanding. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.